The United States Senate sent your president a letter May 1st, 2024, asking that the president not sign the upcoming WHO treaty. You ready for this, folks? Instead of addressing the WHO's well-documented shortcomings, the treaty focuses on mandated resource and technology transfers, shredding intellectual property rights, infringing free speech, and supercharging the WHO. Moving forward with a new pandemic preparedness and response treaty ignores the fact that we are still unsure of COVID-19's origins because Beijing continues to block a legitimate, independent investigation. We strongly urge you not to join any pandemic-related treaty, convention, or agreement being considered at the 77th WHA. Hang on, folks. This video is fixing to get rough. Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to Starkey Farmstead. So my name is Samantha. I'm the operator of a 2-acre farmstead located here in Southeast Louisiana. Today's topic, will we comply again? Will you comply again? Hey, everybody, let's get back into this topic. So before I begin, I just want to say today is Stephen and I's 5-year anniversary on May 4th, 2024. So excited, you guys. Such a blessing. He's putting up our solar panels right now while I make this video for you guys. Want to talk to you about compliance. I keep seeing so many comments. I will not comply. Do not comply. We will not comply. And I sit there and I read that and I'm like, I don't know, folks. I'm thinking you probably will comply, mainly because of this. I'm a type 1 diabetic. My doctor won't give me my medication, but one script, right? So you get 1 bottle a month of your medication. That means when you come to the end of your prescription and it's a life or death situation, you're either going back to the doctor to get your medication or you're not, right? What do you do if the laws have changed to the point that to enter into the doctor's office for a refill, and they will change them, where there can be no call-ins. Everything has to be an in-office written script. That's coming, okay? When that happens, you're going to have to go to your doctor's office. What if you can't go to your doctor's office if you don't have a vaccine passport? What if you can't get life-saving medications because they won't let you back in your doctor to get a script? And if you think I'm being overly conspiracy theorist, you guys see this? Take a peek at that. Look at it. Let me read it to you. Wonderful lady sent this to me today. United States Senate, Washington, D.C., 20510. That's a zip. May 1st, 2024. The Honorable Joseph R. Biden, President of the United States, the White House, Washington, D.C., 20500. Dear Mr. President, next month during the 77th World Health Assembly, WHA, your administration is expected to commit the United States to 2 international agreements that would strengthen the World Health Organization, WHO, authority to declare public health emergencies of international concern and expand the WHO's authority over member states during such emergencies. This is unacceptable. The WHO's failure during the COVID-19 pandemic was as total as it was predictable and did lasting harm to our country. The United States cannot afford to ignore the latest WHO inability to perform its most basic function and must insist on comprehensive WHO reforms before even considering amendments to the International Health Regulations, IHR, or any new pandemic-related treaty that would increase WHO authority. We are deeply concerned that your administration continues to support initiatives and strongly urge you to change course. It goes on to say that Article 55 of the IHR requires the text of any IHR amendment to be communicated to member states at least 4 months prior to the WHA at which they are to be considered. Remember, I brought that to you a few days ago, that they did not turn in the amendments to the current World Health Organization's treaty with all these sister nations. I did that in the live the other day. I told y'all that. A lot of you kept trying to tell me this isn't legal. He can't do it, but he's doing it, folks. He's doing it. You're telling me he can't, and he is. You want to know how I know he is? Because the Senate wrote him this letter. The United States Senate wrote this letter. My state, Louisiana, recently passed legislation in both houses to stop WHO from having any control over Louisiana citizens. Told you that in the live. I did a whole video on that topic. Florida's following suit. Guys, if this can't be done, then why are these two states stepping in and taking control of the situation? If this can't be done, why did the Senate write the president a letter? So you guys know we were demonetized from YouTube for speaking truth. So if you'd like to donate, if you'd like to give to the ministry of what we do here, we would greatly appreciate it, especially since it's my 5-year anniversary. So I'll drop that. I'll pin that in comments. We would greatly appreciate even if you send $1. Guys, you want to get linked in with us through our newsletter. That is $30 every 6 months. You can follow the same links below to send the $30. Please make sure you put your email in the memo, okay? So you're sitting there and you're thinking, okay, I'll die because I'm not going to comply. I commend you for that. We all going to have to make a stand eventually. What if it's your child? What if it's your child? What if your child, say, accidentally puts a pitchfork to their foot like I did 2 years ago and you start showing signs of tetanus? You guys ever looked at what lockjaw does to you? What it looks like? What tetanus looks like? It's horrific. What if that's your child? Or are you literally telling me that you're going to sit there and watch this baby die? That's what I'm saying, folks. Be careful claiming that you won't or will do something, because it's funny how life can force you to re-examine your internal image of yourself, okay? The Bible tells us, Jesus tells us in the end time, that we're going to be persecuted, that children are going to turn against their parents, brother against brother. Like he's already told us, yet so many people, I'm seeing thousands of people say, I will not.
Now, what are you going to do now as the election year gets heated up here in America? When they try to mask up and shut down and lock down all the schools and all the businesses and all the churches again, will you make a decision that you're not going to fall prey to it and not going to back down and mask up and get into all the insanity, or are you going to stand? The truth is, the government will try this kind of garbage again. They're going to attempt, and I say he because it's driven by a satanic agenda to silence freedom, to silence the truth, to hold people back. Or are we going to are we just going to fall prey to that? Are we going to bow our knee to it again? Or are we going to stand up and actually bring some sanity back to our nation?
And I hate to say this, but I feel like 90% of people are going to comply before it's over with because of this, all right? Now look what happened right here. This psychologist in the 1960s did a test, and he had people administer electric shock that they believed could be deadly. An authority figure told them to do that, and shockingly, folks, 65% of the people complied. 65%. That was in the 60s. Right after World War II, when people were very free thinking still. Think about how many people would do that now. I think that number would be in the 80s. 80% of people would have done that. Would have listened to the authority figure tell them to administer electric shock. Okay? I know a lot of y'all are the free thinkers, or you wouldn't be on my platform. So this is why I'm making this video. If you don't want to comply, then I need you to do a few things. I need you to find a way to either naturally treat the diseases of the people that you love around you, stock up on their medications, or get them healthy. Couple ways you can do that, guys. Go look at the Patriot Trainer video. You can log on, take his class. He's going to help you. He will work with you one-on-one. It's very affordable. The second is make the switch and start using the healthier products. The third thing, folks, how many of you have ever tried to cut the power to your house and your water and survive for just 2 days? One night, right? Friday, overnight, Saturday. Turn it back on Saturday night. And review how well your family did. That's the thing. Right now, it's easy, guys. It's so easy to say, I will not comply, while you're sitting in your house watching me talk to you in your air conditioner, in your comfy slippers, drinking your coffee. It's easy. Oh, I will not comply. Really? Because the entirety of Germany complied and was explicit in the killing of millions of Jews 100 years ago. The Senate also writes, we strongly urge you not to join any pandemic-related treaty, convention, or agreement being considered at the 77th WHA. Should you ignore this advice, we state in the strongest possible terms that we consider any such agreement to be a treaty requiring the concurrence of 2/3 of the Senate under Article 2, Section 2 of the Constitution, in light of the high stakes for our country and our constitutional duty. Guys, this is no joke. This is no joke. Several of the senators signed this. I'm going to go through real quick. You can fast forward this part and you can listen to see if you hear a name that's familiar to you. James E. Rich, Bill Cassidy, John Barrisso, Marsha Blackburn, John Boozman, Mike Braun, Katie Boyd Britt, Ted Budd, Shelley Moore Capito, sorry, the wind, John Cornyn, Tom Cotton, Kevin Kramer, Mike Crapio, Ted Cruz, Steve Daines, Johnny Ernest, Deb Fisher, Lindsey Graham, Charles Grassley, Bill Haggerty, Josh Hawley, John Hoven, Cindy Hyde-Smith, John Kennedy, go Louisiana, James Lankford, Michael S. Lee, Roger Marshall, M.D., Cynthia M. Loomis, Mitch McConnell, Jerry Moran, Rand Paul, Mark Wayne Mullen, Pete Ricketts, Mick Romney, M. Michael Rounds, Marco Rubio, Eric S. Schmidt, Tom Scott, Dan Sullivan, Tom Tillis, John Thune, Tommy Tuberville, J.D. Vance, Roger F. Whitaker, Todd Young, Lisa Murkowski, and Susan Collins. That's it. Those are the only people standing between you and total control from the WHO of your sovereignty as a nation. Those names. If you didn't hear your senator on there, you better get on the phone, folks. Today is probably like the last day we've got. Guys, I didn't make this video to scare people. I made it because I understand you think you're not going to comply, but let me continue to explain to you why I think you probably will. So please like, comment, and subscribe. Make sure you hit the notification bell. Guys, again, if you want to support what we do here, it took me hours to get all this put together to do a video to wake up America, and we would really appreciate your support at this time in this journey. God bless you. Continue to watch, guys. History repeats itself, folks. History repeats itself. And it's not that I don't believe you. And it's not that I don't think that you believe yourself. It's just that I understand how hard it is to go without electricity in 114 degrees, with no running water, with animals to care for, a garden to harvest, having to try to figure out how to cook food, making sure we have enough gas and propane to cook food, making the decision of, are we going to wash some clothes in the wash machine with the generator, or are we going to run the AC for an hour just so we can at least bring the temperature down below 100 degrees in the house? I understand that because of where I live and the storms that we get here. 15 days, folks. No water, no electricity. I learned a lot about myself during that period. When I tell you that Sam won't comply, I'm already prepared not to comply. And every way you can imagine, we have already taken steps so that when we say no, we can back it up. A lot of you are not even near that place. It's a serious topic, folks. It's a serious topic. I look back at COVID and at the amount of Christians, or so-called Christians, literally having arguments on Facebook and YouTube and Instagram and TikTok. Christians agreeing that churches should be shut down over COVID. Whatever they come out with next will be scarier because they learned just like we learned during this experiment these last couple of years. Right now, our president with another 193 sister nations are signing away their sovereignty. They learned just like we learned. And people just, it's like, you just can't help it. I will not comply. You will, folks. You will when it comes down to your child needing emergency medical care. You will, folks, when you don't know how to hunt. You will, folks, when your wife is pregnant and is ready to deliver your child. You can't find anybody to help, and now she's in distress, baby's in distress. I'm pretty sure, men, you would do anything at that moment to save her and that baby. That's what I'm talking about, guys. Quit parroting other people's decisions for you to do not comply, and really, really think, how are you going to keep yourself from complying? Because most of you have never broken the law. Most of you have never intentionally done anything that would go against the mainstream. I mean, you might not have wore a mask. You might not have got an injection. But think about it. Most of you are law-abiding, get-along type people. Are you going to be the 1%ers this time? Are you prepared? Is your soul prepared? Are you willing to go to prison for life? Are you willing to be considered a terrorist? Are you willing to have everything you've worked for be taken from you? Are you willing for them to come in and remove your children from your care because you're considered unfit? Those of us who truly know Jesus and are filled with the Holy Spirit, we will not comply. The rest of the world, I don't know. And I want to make this point. I keep hearing Christians say, you know, Jesus is fixing to come back. Please, God, come and get us. Guys, shame on us. Shame on us. You know why Jesus hasn't come back? I mean, seriously, do you know why he has not come back? Because there are unsaved people on this earth. So rather than cry out to God to come and take you out of this situation, ask him to show you who you can lead to him. Who can you help get set free? When we all start doing that and people start coming to Christ by the thousands, Jesus will come back and get us. Otherwise, he's probably ashamed of us. He died on that cross for everyone. Don't ask him to come and get you because you don't want to be uncomfortable on earth when there are people dying and going to hell. Think of it that way. It's time to stand up and be a real Christian, a real disciple of Jesus Christ. I love you guys. It's my anniversary. I'm getting off this phone. I'm going to spend some time with my honey bunch.